According to Google and the mainstream news media, the flat earthers believe that the Earth is a flat disk flying through space in an upward direction. And it's not hard to see if you just type in flat Earth on Google that this image is literally everywhere. It's not hard to miss, it's very laughable, and you start to wonder, why could people believe something that our really dumb ancestors believed in, like the thought of ships going over the edge? Because after all, Christopher Columbus didn't fall off the edge. So why is it that people still believe in this ridiculous flat disk theory of Earth? And you wouldn't be crazy for thinking that, because we have many proofs of the globe. We've seen tons of pictures, and none of them show us a picture of a flat disk of any kind. So we understand the frustration, where you're coming from, but let's listen to what one of the most famous flat earthers, Rob Skiba, has to say about this, because I looked at an article about the most recent Flat Earth Convention in Canada, and it said right here, as you can see, that flat earthers believe the Earth is a disk despite overwhelming scientific and photographic evidence that the Earth is spherical. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Debunking Flat Earth 101. A few tips to help you, okay? Number one, never forget, we used to be you. There's nothing you're going to say to us that we didn't already know and believe ourselves 3 years ago or less. We went through the same indoctrination you went through. We had the globe in the classroom since kindergarten. We had the same textbooks. We've watched the same movies, documentaries, TV shows, been to the same museums. And we all started out saying the same thing. This is stupid. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Why are we even talking about this? This is the 21st century, for crying out loud. Okay, we used to be you. Number two, none of us belongs to the Flat Earth Society. Okay, so if the first thing you're of the mindset, let's go to flatearthsociety.org or net or com or whatever it is, don't do that. Most of us, I can't speak for everybody, but I think most of us recognize that site as either controlled opposition or just a hoax or just, a joke. None of us belong to the Flat Earth Society, so don't go running there for your information, which leads to the next one. No one believes the upward floating disk theory of gravity. And if you don't know what that is, I made a little animation for you.
Thank you, Rob, for admitting what we all knew, and that's that our Earth is not a flat disk flying through space. It takes a big weight off of our shoulders to finally have someone say that in a public environment so that we can move forward and explain a little better what it is that we truly believe. Because I get asked all the time if I'm one of them flat earth people when I start talking about my beliefs. And I tell them, no, I do not believe Earth is flat. And it freaks them out when I tell them Earth is stationary and it's not flat. Because Earth is just dry land, and it has been since creation. And if you look at an elevation map, it shows you the true elevations of our Earth. And the water is always perfectly flat, with the land having elevation changes, none of which match 8 inches per mile squared. And that's something that blows the minds of a lot of people, because they're like, wait, you call yourself a flat earther? Well, yeah, we've kind of accepted that title, but we don't really believe Earth is flat. We know that only water is flat, so to call it flat Earth is really kind of counterproductive to our cause, because we know Earth isn't really flat. It has many different level changes, but water has been proven level time and time again. And that's not the only thing that's been proven. We also know that there is a lot of deception, and for some strange reason, very few can see it, but for those who can, those are the ones that are more easily led into this movement, because they can see the deception. It's very obvious to them that the footage we thought we saw that was authentic is not authentic at all. Like the stars and the moon in 1960 looked a lot different than they do now, because these are not the stars and the moon and the Milky Way galaxy. They were faking space back then, and they weren't very good at it. They were decent, and when we were very gullible, we believed these things. Doesn't mean we're dumb, we're just very trustworthy. It's in our nature. That's why we believed in Santa Claus when we were kids. And it's the same type of mentality that has allowed us to see that circular window with some of our Earth in the background from a high elevation as being Earth. And that was some of the first times that the Earth was presented to the public, and we all bought it. And these missions were so built up, it was like the main event. And no one had seen Earth at all from space. And here it is, and it's in the background of the picture on the moon. But then we find out where that picture came from, and we have to discount this as evidence of a spherical Earth, because since this time, no man has been far enough away from the Earth to see the entire Earth. All we have seen is a lot of hoaxes, a lot of fakery, and a lot of computer animations. And if you don't see it, like the string here on this satellite, this movement's just not for you. It doesn't mean we think you're dumb or we don't love you, but if you can't see that, that's a string. This satellite being launched in 1980s with the technology they had at the time. If you can't see this fake stuff, I'm sorry, because the technology is getting better, and you will be deceived way more often than we were back then, and lots of technological advances that are making it hard for us, even the people that are awake, to see how on earth they do this stuff, because they're getting really good at it. Their mistakes are getting less and less, and people still love them. I love them growing up. I'm not saying that everyone that works at NASA is an evil scientist with a plot to deceive the world. Many great scientists work there. It's just that the ones up top who are pulling the strings of these puppets over here, and you can see their strings, and they often get exposed for having wire harnesses. It's not something new. Many of us have seen that. However, you will not find this stuff in the mainstream media. They're not going to have a Fox News segment explaining why astronauts are caught hanging from wires, but they will have a astronaut responds to a flat earth theory and then show you a picture of a flat disk floating through space, and the world will laugh, just like the enemy knew they would. That's why this information is allowed to be pushed out, because most of you will laugh. And we are here not trying to reach the people who have already been reached. We are trying everything we can to wake up as many people as we can to the fact that your reality is painted in, just like it was with evolution and all of the hoaxes that we have there. They're doing it with the earth that you live on. The world you live on is not what you think it is. The people that run this world are not who you think they are. This world is ran by some evil people, and it was created by our Father, who loves you, and he has done everything he can to show you this love, but the world has done everything they can to hide the truth, to hide the evidence, to make it look like the Son of the Most High was a hoax, and that there was some agenda to teach people love and forgiveness, and that agenda led this person who was trying to trick the world into loving and forgiving everybody and healing the sick and raising the dead through his Father's power to go to his own death so that he can trick you. Guys, it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, everybody, and understand that you are loved. Eternity is at stake. So many people are blinded by this false science, this religion, and it's very catchy. And I work with people every day who they wear the NASA shirts. And if you notice, there's a lot of people wearing NASA shirts lately, and it's becoming pop culture. It's just a part of our reality. But these people up top are lying. You need to understand that. Earth is not a sphere traveling around a sun. There's a reality that is being hidden from you. And that's all we want you to know. We have proof that water is flat. It has been proven. It's not in the news. You won't find it in the news. Don't look for it there. But we have proof that water does not curve around a sphere. Land is not flat. Earth is not flat. I know that sounds weird. Water is flat. Our dry land has elevations that you can see with your own eyes. It's not hard to do. Just use your eyes that were created to see and your ears that were created to hear. Miracles are about to start happening, and this world is going to start changing.